Hello, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. Just doing a little quick blog here about a show I saw today about women and how they want to become escorts. And you know, women, I kind of understand where you're coming from because in this society, women are making less than men. I can tell you from my own experience trying to make it in the world with a bachelor's degree, working for government agencies, it has been a struggle. Trying to get promoted, trying to move up in the company is nearly impossible. You could have a bachelor's degree and it's just like a high school diploma in some organizations. Men continue to move up the career ladders with little or no education and outproduce and make more than women on a daily basis, and nothing in this country is ever going to be done about it. We fought for rights to vote. We fought for rights to work, and once we got into the working field, the first thing they did is make us become secretaries. I've worked for so many companies I can't even count, over 9 different government agencies. I've been the secretary, administrative assistant, whatever title they give you, executive assistant, secretary, administrative, and I can tell you right now I've worked for tons of incompetent bosses who could barely even send an email, much less even write a letter, but yet they're the heads of these companies and they're making tons of money, tons of bonuses, and it's not fair because the women are the ones doing the work, the secretaries. Nowadays I guess there's men who's secretaries too. And we just are getting the short end of the stick, and not a lot has changed. I just read a report today about women that have PhDs you have to have a PhD to make as much as a man with a BA degree, which to me is just outrageous. I mean, this is still going on in the 21st century. I can remember a time when I was propositioned from a government agency, which I shall leave, nameless, because my life, of course, will be in danger. They proposed to me to become an escort, and they said that I could gain a lot of money. They said I could live in a mansion. All I had to do was have sex with the legislators, and I refused. Okay, I had faith in God. God brought me this far. I figured, I knew they were going to blacklist me, which they did, and they have. Blacklisted me to poverty, to where I can't even come out of this hole. Even with a master's degree, to this day, I'm still struggling and in poverty, okay? But men with A degrees and barely high school educations have outpassed me. Is it fair? No, it's not, but it continues to be done. That's why we need a woman president, because finally someone will stand up for women's rights. These men don't care. They just want us to change the diapers, clean up and wash all their dirty clothes, and sit by and let them cheat on us and use us. These men are heartless, okay? They just want you to basically be in poverty so that they can oppress you and abuse you, domestic violence you. When I looked at this man's wife and how she looked so sad, that Spitzer governor's wife, standing next to this man who has been cheating on her for over 10 years with call girls, and she still supports this man. The woman obviously is scared to be on her own. She probably is so financially abused by this man, she can't even leave him. Do you know how many women can't even leave their husbands because they can't support themselves? Yes, they're smart because they know being a single woman out there, it's even harder, okay? Yeah, I don't blame you guys for staying so that you don't have to eat out of a food bank like I do, because I have to go to a food bank because I don't want to have sex with my ex, so he punishes me and takes away my money. Oh, yeah, I get child support, but I don't get any extra or anything above that because I won't give it up and stuff. That's the way it goes in this world. Women are constantly put down. We don't have very many rights. Not in agencies, not in government. So when I refused to be a call girl, I got slammed into a life of no promotions, barely minimum wages. And then when I tried to stand up for people that were being discriminated against, I got fired. When I tried to go out on leave and have a surgery and I became pregnant and had a miscarriage, I got fired. Okay, so that's how it works. You think a man would get fired for going out on sick leave? No. For helping his wife with having a baby? No, he won't. Okay, because that is unheard of. That's why women only get pregnancy discrimination. It's just a shame that this country hasn't grown at all, and that women have to be succumb to become escorts and call girls and prostitutes to survive. And I was just talking to a friend of mine today, and he was telling me about this guy who works women. And he said, why does everybody make a big deal about women that, like when a man works a woman and takes her money, but when women take men's money, it's not a big deal. And I tried to explain to him, I guess he never learned, that men are supposed to be providers and they're supposed to be protectors, and that they have made this world nothing but a con. Everything is a con. So women have had to resort to survival mechanisms to survive in this world, and to have to con a man and to become a gold digger just to survive, to feed their own kids. That these men have abandoned these children and left their own kids to go out and support strippers and prostitutes, okay? You think we don't know where all the money's going? Half of the government funds are going to prostitutes. But of course they won't never uncover that. A little tasty bit of all of it.
For his alleged illicit sex with a 22-year-old $1,000 an hour prostitute has once more made one politician's private foibles public fodder.
I've disappointed and failed to live up to the standard I expected of myself.
New revelations that New York Governor Elliott Spitzer may have been soliciting call girls for up to 10 years, spending nearly $100,000.
I have acted in a way that violates my obligations to my family, and that violates my or any sense of right and wrong.
Well, I'm here with Kelly Catrone, Jen, Caitlin, her daughter. You have considered being an escort, but we have someone else here, and it's Asley Dupree. What were you doing before you decided to become an escort?
I was working at a real estate company, and I was an administrative assistant, and the opportunity came along. I was working 3 jobs, couldn't pay my rent, couldn't pay my bills, and I was put in a situation. I lived in New York, and, it's the hamster on the wheel that just keeps going around and around, snowball effect. And I got into it, and, it's really hard getting out. I said I was here to help you and give you a little guidance. Kelly's crying, I'm crying. And you said, everybody's ganging up on me. And we're not, we're trying to help you. And then you turned to me and you said, you look familiar. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life, and I'm humiliated. And I've been convicted by our society of a social crime. And I think in a way that's worse than if I would have had to pay the fine and go to jail, because this is something that my future husband, my future children are going to have to live with, and I'm going to have to explain to them. And then it's never going to go away. I never thought that I would end up on the front pages of every newspaper across the world, and this has an effect on Caitlin and your sons. And I made the worst mistakes between the ages of 17 and 21. And they fall into that category, and they need you to be what they view you as, that strong role model, that strong person, that mom, that they know is really strong.
And the aftermath of this, you say your singing career has caved in. You were going to be on Celebrity Apprentice. NBC pulled that deal. You can't get a job even though you have a real estate certificate. Charities don't want to work with you. You just kind of become a pariah.
Yeah. So I fit into this group of, I'm not quite a celebrity where I can go and get work because, I'm kind of being condemned. And then I can't just be a normal person and go out and get a job in real estate because people view my past, how they view it.
So it didn't help your life.
No.
and once you cross that line, then it's difficult to come back. So we talking to you